I've seen you in a lot of Prof music videos. What are your favorite 3 music videos you've been in?
Cutthroat. That was fun.
That was the best one, dude.
That was fun.
In the liquor store and everything. That was incredible.
That was really fun, and like it was right after the pandemic, and like we were just like we're free again. You know what I'm saying? After everything is going on, and that was a good one. Second one would probably be Animal Patrol, because we were with the homies. We were in like a cabin up north and just getting lit. And
that's the one on the boat, right?
No, that's the one with on the snowmobiles.
Oh, sure.
And like I got a concussion that day, but that's okay.
On the snowmobile?
Yeah, I jumped off of it trying to be like James Bond, and like I rolled off, and that was bad. I probably shouldn't have went to sleep that night, but we're still here, so we're good. That was a good one. I'm trying to think of another good one. We did one in LA. Dynamite was fun when everyone was naked. You know what I'm saying? Like that was cool. We've done a lot of really light work. That was a fun one. We've done so many videos together.
That's the Trailer Park Boys one, right?
No, that was the one that I think with the boat.
Yeah, okay.
And we were like, that was a day where we had no idea what we were gonna do. We're just like,
Time Bomb's the one I was thinking.
Time Bomb is with Trailer Park Boys. Yeah. Squad Goals was fun, being Mr. Rogers and the, you know what I'm saying? We've done Pack of Lunch was fun with Redman. That was a dope set. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah.
And he was cool as shit. Like Redman is so chill.
Welcome back, friends. Today I drove to Minneapolis, Minnesota to hang out with a DJ that I've seen in music videos for many, many years. Didn't even honestly know his name until I Googled, who's Prof's DJ? Yeah. And I said, oh, Willie Wonka. And then I Googled Willie Wonka and couldn't find anything until I found his only interview on the On Tap podcast. Shout out to Cody and all the boys. They interviewed him a while ago, which was my only source for information. Welcome to the show, Willie Wonka.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Dude, yeah. I mean, this was like a pretty short drive in comparison to some of the ones that I've been doing lately. Minneapolis is like just a stone's throw away. So what is your actual name? And then how did you get the name Willie Wonka? Where did that come from?
So my actual name is Willie Clay. Willie Benjamin Clay III. Shout out to my pops, grandpa, you know what I'm saying? So literally I'm a producer first before DJ, and my first production name was named Mastermind, right? I was the mastermind, and I searched that name online. There was like
a million
masterminds everywhere. I'm like, okay, I can't be mastermind. So I'm like, I really enjoy watching the Willie Wonka movie. I watch it once a month or whatever it is. You know,
the original.
Yeah, the original. Yeah, we don't
talk about Johnny Depp.
No, who's Johnny Depp? But the original movie. But literally, I watched the movie so many times. I love that movie. I know every word, every song. I'm like, okay, Willie Clay, Willie Wonka. Boom. My production name is Willie Wonka, and then I turned to my DJ name. You know what I'm saying? So
sure.
Yeah, it was good to like be different than everybody else. I searched a Willie Wonka DJ or producer, didn't find any. So I'm like, okay, this is what it is.
Yeah, but now that things have came a lot further along, all of a sudden you're not looking at like, does anyone in my area go by this name? You're like internationally looking, who else is credited? That makes it hard, right?
Yeah,
like because there are other people that are going by that.
Yeah.
Like when I was searching you, I saw something, and it was like, this person's from this country, and I'm like, no, he's not.
Russia or whatever.
Yeah,
there's a Russian dude as a producer.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that story is like, I made a beat, I swear to God, I made a beat, and it was these certain chords I made. And then like somebody sent me a beat from of Willie Wonka from Russia. And bro, it was the exact same chords and everything. That I was like, man, is this man like following me, like taking my beats? But I don't know.
I noticed the other day, and I'm just like waiting for Charlie to hit me back. Do you know who Charlie Barons is? Everyone knows who Charlie Barons is.
Charlie Barons.
Yeah, he's a comedian who's like huge. I think he's got like 1.2 million on Instagram. He's the guy who does all the Wisconsin type content.
Okay, yeah.
They're like, let me squeeze right past you.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he has the only podcast that's like kind of similar to mine in the Midwest, and it's called the Cripes Cast. Dude, their social media was like not really crushing it. And I do certain things like with my clips, you know, with animating things or whatever. He started doing that recently, and I'm like, dog.
You know what?
I don't own doing that thing, but I'm like, I
know I did this
You
thing.
Pulled from me, man. Like, I know you did.
That's good, though. That means you're doing something good.
That's what I'm saying. He's like by far the most famous one. And I'm like, well, I'm sure he didn't do the editing, but if he was like talking to his manager and saying, hey, we got to up our game because Chris is interviewing some of the same people as us and his clips look nicer. We got to up that. And now there's our looking, anyways, that's the best that's the best form of flattery. So you're from Chicago is what I heard when you're talking to Cody. You moved here when you're 18 to go to the U of M.
Yep.
Did you like drop out right away? Did you get a degree?
No, so my degree is in applied economics.
Okay.
So I came up here for that. I got a full scholarship, you know what I'm saying? And
because of grades or?
Yeah, I'm smart as shit.
Sick.
No, but so what happened was I came up here and I remember till this day, like I was in my dorm room and my homeboy Carlton was making beats in his room in the dorm, and I just hear this beat playing over and over and over. So I walk into the room, I'm like, well, what are you doing? He goes, I'm making beats. I'm like, how do you do that? He's like, oh, I downloaded this Fruity Loops app program and like I'm like, you gotta pay for that? I go, well, I stole it from you know what I'm saying, LimeWire or whatever. So I went back to my room and my computer with the LimeWire, just stole that shit and started learning how to make beats and teaching myself how to make music. And that was I knew that's what I was gonna do later on in my life, but it was just a way to pass time in between classes or in between going to the gym and all that kind of stuff when I was in college. So
how much time passed then between being 18 to when, because I know the story you told Cody was that you just like looked up best rappers or biggest rappers in Minnesota and then just like sent your beats to those people, and that's kind of how you got connected to Prof. But how much time was that between those?
So I went to school at 2004 is when I went to, when I was 18, 2004.
So you're 38.
I'm 38, yep. So from then until when I actually started like making beats seriously is probably like 6-7 years.
Oh, okay. What'd you do for work during that whole time
frame? I was going between jobs, and I was a assistant manager at Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Sick. So you didn't really use your college degree then, huh?
No.
Okay.
I kind of use college. I view college as it is what you make it, right?
Yeah.
I use the connections I made. Like I have people who I've known from college and I can still work with, or they're now they're promoters, or now they're doing this and that, but I would never have met them if I didn't go to college. You know what I'm saying? So I always say use college how you want to use it. And I think a lot of times people don't see it that way. They just like go through the motions and whatever, but if you make connections, you can be good for a long time where whatever you try to do,
I think that's the biggest benefit of most things though, right, is like the social situations that you're put in. Same way with going on tour, right? The number of people that you meet around the country, or if you go internationally, that are music producers or they're booking agents or they work with the venue or they work with this festival. It's like you can just show up and do your job, or you can look at every single night as an opportunity to meet more people, to build your network for who knows what other opportunities that are going to come up. It's the same way with the show of like, at first, really for a long time, the interviews that I did were all because they were connected by somebody, you know, because I didn't have the connections. Now it's like, dude, I can either name drop or I can reach out to somebody or I can whatever. Like I've interviewed over 200 people, all those people in different creative spaces, kind of all over the country. My network's like crazy vast at this point. And that's helped me get sponsors. It's helped me with like a lot of different things. So what was the first song that you remember making that somebody could still go look and find?
The first one is President by Prof. So like,
you don't have any music out before Prof?
Before that is all my homeboys. Like, literally I would like give beats to my homeboys. They wouldn't be that good, but somebody's on my beat. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's cool, whatever. And it was really hard to put your music out back then. You know what I'm saying? There was no DistroKid. There's no, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. There's no distribution like that.
There wasn't SoundCloud. There wasn't Spotify yet.
Everything is like, oh, I made the song, but now I got to put it on a CD and all this stuff. So my first song that was actually out, that was on the internet and like people can actually search it, was President by Prof. But before that, all my homeboys from Chicago, and like I would just give beats out to anybody I could. Like they put them on SoundCloud, but they would be, I'm trying to think if, I was literally thinking about this the other day. There was like an R&B song that me and my homeboy Carl made together. It was called A Favorite. I can't remember the artist's name. He was like bubbling a little bit in Chicago, like R&B artist. And I just sent him a random beat. He liked it, and like he made a song out of it. But that might be the first song, and that might be like 2009, 2010.
Okay,
is when that came out, and I felt like I was like I was Timbaland. You couldn't tell me anything different.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when was the President song with Prof, and how did that work? Did you send him like 10, like in a Dropbox type thing, or how did that actually happen?
I sent him my SoundCloud because I put a bunch of beats on my SoundCloud.
Oh, okay.
And so like I hit him on Instagram, on Twitter at the time. I was just like, boom. And
he responded to your first
yeah,
message?
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, what's up? I like this beat. This beat is called Hood. Is how I call that was the name of the beat. Was
sick.
Hood.
Yeah.
And so he used that beat, and he's like, I made a song out of this. He sent it to me. I'm like, bro, this is like really good. Like sounds really good. Like this is crazy. Like this is a real artist on my.
But Prof wasn't that big at the time.
No, he was doing. So the thing is though, he was still building his niche.
Yeah.
And he was doing like, he did after that song when he produced when he put out Project Gampo, I think.
Okay.
Or King Gampo was what he was. He did First Ave back to back 2 nights in a row, sold out, which is 1,500.
Right.
So
I mean, he's always had like a really concentrated like fan base in Minneapolis.
So like, but he wasn't big enough. I had no idea who he was before I sent that email. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure. And you had been living in Minneapolis for a while then.
Yes, exactly. And even with Atmosphere and all those guys, like I didn't really, their music wasn't really what I was listening to. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what were you listening to then?
I was listening to Lil Wayne, Drake.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm listening to that. I didn't even know there was rappers in Minnesota.
Right.
You know, that's like my friends. Like,
before Slug, there wasn't very many.
Exactly.
You know
so
what I mean?
I wasn't really in tune to them, and then I got in tune with them, and I went to my first sound set, and like I'm doing all these things, and I'm like, oh, there's actually artists here. Like, let me figure out how to be a part of this.
And you weren't a part of anything when you were going at first. You were just going on your own, like thinking, hopefully I meet some people.
Exactly. I was just literally making music because I love music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My grandfather was a blues artist, Byther Smith, in Chicago. And I watched him go on tour. I watched him do these things. And I'm like the only child or descendant of his that decided to do music. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And like he was pretty big for sure. Like went all around the world. He'll come back with like stuff from Egypt and stuff from
crazy.
I thought it was so cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
it's important to have people like that, because if you have somebody in your life that you're like, they did it, it makes it seem more feasible to you.
Yes, it's realistic.
Yeah. First, a lot of people think that it's just not possible because the only thing that they can see are like Taylor Swift or like these massive names.
Different levels.
They're not seeing people around them that are doing it. Same way, like if you weren't aware of Prof or Atmosphere, if you don't think anyone in Minnesota is doing it and making a living, you're like, is it possible?
Is it even a thing here? You know
what I'm saying? So you got linked up with him. How long was it between the time frame of when you gave him that and he made the song or whatever before it actually came out and you guys started working together?
Like we were like, it was like, so when I sent them that email or whatever, tweet, and he responded back and I sent him the beat, he was like, how much you want for it? I was like, nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's like, you don't want anything? Well, I'm not trying to, like, you're really good and I want to build a relationship with you. I'm not gonna overshoot myself. Like I feel like a lot of times with producers or people in the industry, like they overshoot themselves early. They say, oh, I need $10,000. And now you just lost this connection or whatever you have going on, because you want to make money, yes, but you also need to cultivate that. It'll come in time type of thing. So after I sent that email or tweet, it had to be like 6 months, and the song came out and the project came out, and I'm like, oh my God, this is really good. And I started like watching his like social media blow up a little bit more. And so he invited me to one of the shows at First Avenue.
Sure.
But I was like general admission. Literally, I'm literally at the top row at First Avenue, and he performs the song. His last song is like, this is like the highlight of the show, and he like throws like 10,000 fake $1 bills with his face on it as the president. And I'm like, I'm sitting up there, I'm like looking around like, I made this beat and everyone's going insane. It was crazy. It was a crazy feeling because I'm like, they have no idea that I'm just standing right here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I haven't even met him yet. You know what I'm saying? Because
you hadn't met him in person?
No, because it's all internet. It's all internet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just up there, just chilling. Like, this is nuts. Like, I need more of this. I'm making all these people happy, and they have no idea. I need to do this again.
And you had to go to Enterprise the next morning.
I had to go to work. But every day at Enterprise, I would go home and then go to my homeboy Tremon's house, and I would just go in his basement because he had all the equipment. He had the Mac, he had the studio sounds and everything like that in his basement, and I would go there every night, and we would just make beats. You know what I'm saying? Smoke a little bit and just create. And then I go to work. I have my stuff in a bag. It'd be wrinkled and shit. I was so reckless. I didn't even care. I was just like, I'm going to make music and go to work. Make music, go to work. Make music, go to work. And just get better. You know what I'm saying? And learn how to get better. So
how many songs did you make with Prof? Because nowadays you're his DJ. You don't really put out a lot of the music, right?
No.
You don't produce much of it?
He's doing a lot of beats himself. But I made President. I made Zoo. A couple other little small ones. Animal Patrol. I made. I added like little stuff into songs like with Bar Breaker. He used I think it was A$AP Rock's sample, and I added like an 808 to it. And on Andre the Giant, I added like a horn to it. You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that. So most of my work with P has been early. Now it's more like creative, like show stuff or creative like
music
overall,
videos you have to be involved with, I'm sure.
Overall arcing things, which is super cool.
So when did you start? When was it that you made it your full-time job working on music? I'm assuming it was some opportunity with Prof then.
Yeah, so literally it was probably like 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I've always been the type of person, I like money.
Sure.
So I want to make sure that I'm always okay. Like I've never been like...
Well, and you're a parent, right? So
yeah,
like it's
I have
important
a
to have
daughter.
that.
It's a lot of work going on with that. I have to make sure she's straight. And with music, it's a lot of times it's feast or famine. Either, boom, I got 10 racks from this show, or 10 racks from this party, or I had this placement, boom, 5, 6, but it's not very consistent. And having like a family or having like a daughter is very... You need to make sure you have consistent money to make sure like we're okay. And I've never been the type of like, oh man, I can't work. Like if I gotta work, I gotta work. But I will make everything else work with it.
Sure.
I'm a hustler. So
was that like just a one like flip the switch and forever now you're doing that, or was it like you went on a tour for 3 months and that was your income, but then you had to come back and get a job for a little bit?
No, so I've always had a job. But a lot of times with my jobs, I've always told them like when I started work, like actually touring and stuff, I told them, hey, I go on tours.
Yeah.
And they've been cool. What happens is like when I first started touring with Pete, I wasn't making a ton of money.
Right.
It was more about me building my worth. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like I could have asked for a ton of money and then lost the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so like it's always like I've always been a type of person that understands like relationships and how valuable that relationship could be and the potential with that relationship. You know what I'm saying? So even when I was working with Prof, I was working with another artist named Mac Irv, and like we've been working still till this day. And like I was more like a manager, producer type of thing with him. We went on tour with P for the first time. I went on tour with him for the first time, and that's how I became a DJ. I wasn't even a DJ at the time. I was more like a manager.
You were along with Mac Irv.
Yes.
Okay.
And then like I think Fundo had to go do something, and he was like, "Want to DJ for me?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm not a DJ." He's like, "Well, tonight you will be." I'm like, "Okay, well, tell me the cues, what I need to do." And I hit it first time. Literally that same night, he was like, "Okay, so you're my DJ now." I was like, "I don't have any equipment. I don't even know how to do this shit." And I just learned it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's like, where were we talking?
Well, I was just talking about like how you're able to make it like a full-time income. But,
yeah, it's tough because it takes time.
Yeah.
You know, and I used being a DJ and making music, and and my connections and who I've known and like in my life, and I use that to build. But it takes like probably had to be like 10 years to make it a full-time job.
Yeah.
At least, you know what I'm saying? Because with my family and what I need and like how I like to live my life, I need to have things. I like to like wear clothes and buy shoes and like that. So those jobs help me with that, and then everything else would be extra, and I just stack it on top. You know.
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, it is hard. I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and in general, if you're doing something for a living or you're attempting to do something for a living that other people do for free as a hobby, it's really hard to be good enough that you're so much better than them that someone's going to pay you a livable wage.
Yes.
Like, that's a big gap. You got to get way better.
That is a lot of work, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, same with podcasts. You know what I mean? Like, I was speaking to a podcasting class at UW-Madison, and that was one of the questions. They're like, well, how do you make income from this? And I was like, well, I didn't for an extended period of time. And it was because you have to be able to provide value to somebody, right? And now I give a breakdown with every guest. Like, I'll send it to you afterwards saying, this is how many views came on TikTok. This is how many views from Instagram Reels, from Instagram Stories, from blah, blah, blah. Break it down into a number. And then I can say, you know, like this one I did recently was like 158,000 views total or whatever across everything. Then I can send that and say, well, if you want product placement in this episode, I'm going to get your logo seen 150,000 times. That is worth this much.
Yes.
You know, and then it actually makes sense. And when you have somebody like Prof who's like already knows how to do everything, you know what I mean? He can plug and play kind of anybody. So if you're willing to do the work for him and just take the direction and go, okay, it's okay that I don't know what I'm doing right now. I can be humble enough and have you just tell me. Then, like, you're already part of the crew. A lot of times people just need someone they trust.
Yeah, trust is the big, especially like when you're with people for 30 days, 25 days, 40 days. If I can't trust you, it's not going to last. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can't hang out with you and like be okay, like with you, like I'm the type of person, I'm very positive. When I wake up every day, like it's very rare that you see me having a bad day, even if something bad's going on, because this is kind of like my life, you know what I'm saying, my lifestyle.
Sure.
But bringing in a positive energy to any situation is very valuable when you're grinding on a tour and like you miss your family, they miss their family, like everybody misses their significant others, their kids, their mom, their dad, whatever it is. And like when you wake up and you're actually having a good time and smiling, it makes everything else better. Like everyone else has a good time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Well, and a lot of people have scarcity mentality in any of this type of stuff.
Yep.
So there's a lot of cutthroat things that happen because everyone's trying to take a piece of the same pie, especially in Minneapolis. I've noticed there's a lot of beef between a lot of people where I'm like, man, if I was involved in music here, I would be real careful with who I want to trust with anything. Yeah. There's a lot of talented people. I'm not saying they're all bad. It's just everyone is trying to make it.
The pie is so small.
Right.
Is not as big as a LA pie or a
totally
pie. So everyone's going for the same pieces. So it makes resentment. If somebody was getting more than you, you're not going to be, oh, great job. But like, well, why can't I get that? Or what? You know what I'm saying? Like, so a lot of times, you know, at least for me, I'm always been so positive. I enjoy seeing people do what they do. Do your thing, bro. I don't need to be a part of what you got going on because you're having a good time doing it. I'm doing my own thing. Like, everything is good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of times people feel like you need to have a piece of everything. You don't need a piece of everything. You just do your thing, find your own niche, and you'll be smooth. You know what I'm
curious, when you go on tour, I know it's different in every situation, but how does the money actually work? I'm not saying how much money do you make per show, but like, I know some artists will just pay a flat rate. Say it's $50 to their DJ at every single show, or you know, $100 to their opener at every single show. Some other people, I think they split it percentage wise of like ticket sales overall of like, well, I got paid $5,000 for this event. You get 10% because you're my DJ, or whatever the situation is. What does it normally kind of look like? Again, I know it's different for everybody.
Yeah, but for me, it's a flat fee. I just do a flat fee, and then I do.
So you're gonna get paid the same for when you do Red Rocks as you do a smaller show.
So it depends on the venue, on like the type of event. Like normally, like festivals is different. It's a different rate than a tour rate. You know what I'm saying? But usually, especially with Stop House, I get, you know, my flat rate. I get a per diem for like food, and I also get paid for days off or travel days. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So. Festivals are different rates than tour dates. Red Rocks is a different rate than, you know, normal. You know, one-off dates are different than just, you know.
How do you know when to ask for a raise? Because obviously, like, you're part of a team that has been growing, right? Like, Prof is much bigger now than he was even 5 years ago, so clearly his rate goes up. How do you know when yours goes? I feel like it's all about
knowing your worth and like having those conversations. Like, I feel like when, like, probably once a year, I just talk to like my manager Mike. And say, hey, you know what I'm saying?
Is he kind of the one that goes in between everybody then?
Yeah, Mike is the man that, like, he knows everything. He's the guy in between everything. But, I would just talk to him. Like, probably once a year, we talk about it. And then he'll give me, like, an offer. And it's up to me to be like, oh, yeah, this is cool. Or, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Or whatever it is. So
yeah, but I mean, at this point, like, no one wants to have to bring in somebody new, right? So like,
No.
you do have a little bit of power behind you.
and
of
I feel like I do, but also I'm not the type of person to be like, well, either I get this or we have a tour. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's just a lot of ego involved in general in music, so it's tough because it's like, well, how much of the work, like, Prof has a team, right?
Yep.
So it's like he's responsible for his own success to a certain degree.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And how much somebody values themselves versus somebody else isn't always matching, even though you value each other.
Yep.
Meeting in the middle and finding that spot, I feel like, would be difficult sometimes.
Yeah, but the good thing is, like, through therapy, I've learned that ego is, I've had like a ton of ego death. You know what I'm saying? Like, and my ego obviously is a part of my personality or my persona, but it's not me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've learned that through, as I said, therapy. I think everyone should go to therapy.
I agree. I go to therapy twice a month. It's so helpful.
I'm in between therapists right now. I gotta get a new therapist, and I need to, get that going. But just like not having an ego and being able to sit outside yourself and value yourself, but also see other perspectives is very important. Because I feel like a lot of people, especially in the music industry, it's, I'm that dude. Yeah, I deserve this. La la la. It's like, who's speaking right now? Is that you or is your ego? You know what I'm saying? So whenever I have a weird feeling in my stomach, or like I feel a certain way, I always step back and be like, is that me or my ego? And I know my value, but I also don't want to be egotistical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's just not who I am.
I think things change as you get older. You just have a better perspective too, right?
Facts.
Because like, you can look at somebody like Prof, and I'm not just trying to talk about him all day, but you have somebody like that where he has so many fans. All these people are like, oh my God, Prof's the man. And I'm sure he has people he grew up with that now make more money than him in a regular job. Right. And it's like, so how cool am I realistically? Like that whole factor changes, right? Because as you get older, what you think is cool is different. When you're younger, you're like, I just have to have as many fans as possible. And as you get older, you're like, well, I just want to enjoy life more.
Yeah.
So like, how can I like remove some stress out of my life? It doesn't matter if I make more or less money than this person, if I have more or less streams. It all just depends on, am I happy with the things? Am I stoked on the opportunities that are coming my way?
Yeah. And I feel like, growing up and getting older is a big factor to learning yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, learning who you are and learning like what's really going on in the world. Because when I was younger, I was way more like, you know what I'm saying? But after having a child and learning what's really important in life, you understand, like, bro, I was just wild. Like, why would I even say that? Like, looking through your like memories on Facebook of like 12 years ago, what you would say or what you would talk about, like, bro, I would never say this thing right now. You know what I'm saying? I would never post this. So like, I always keep myself kind of off of social media when it comes to like that kind of, because I feel like you change so much as a person. And a lot of times you emotionally post or emotionally work or emotionally ask for things, and like taking emotion out of it, you just can be way more even keel and less stressed out. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, and that's when you can mentor people too, because you see younger people and you're like, hey, dude, man, I get it.
I was there.
Yeah, I was like, you're wrong, but I understand because I was wrong when I was in that spot.
I understand what you're saying, but listen, bro, like, way more important stuff going on. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. So what happened to making beats? Is that totally on the back burner at this point?
No, I make beats all the time. Essentially, what I'm doing now is I have a manager who I send beats to, packs to, and he sends it out to like his connections.
Is that Mike through Stop House or somebody else?
So it's my homeboy named Swack.
Okay.
He's from Houston. So I send him beats, and then he's like, oh, Freddie Gibbs and Sauce Walker got this project coming out. Got some beats for them or whatever. So I literally just started working with him probably 4 months ago. Before that, I was just making beats for myself and just enjoying them. But so he's gonna start shopping them for me, and
so you're hoping you get Freddie Gibbs to listen to one and go, hell yeah.
That's what I need. That's what I need, man.
Yeah, dude, to pop. Who else have you made music for? Or is there anybody else that you could just like look up on Spotify right now?
So I made I made some beats for Mac Irv, my artist. I made beats for a lot of Minneapolis people. John Ray. I think who else? I made a beats for my homeboy Buddha Bless. It was him and like Chief Keef. Mostly local people. This is kind of where I've been at.
I mean, there's a big hip hop scene here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So like I was just throwing beats out to everybody, especially when I was early starting. But I'm trying to think who else have I like maybe those are the main artists.
So you said you didn't make this your full-time gig until 3 years ago,
yeah.
right? So you were still working a full-time job, generally speaking, like a regular job,
yep.
all the way through the pandemic?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was working from home. So I was working doing a collections job, and like so I would just have my computers downstairs, and I'll go downstairs at 8:00, log in,
and be the bad guy.
Be the bag. No, I'm a good collector. Listen, if I ever call you for some money, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I'm gonna be like, listen, man, do you have it or not? If you don't got it, that's okay. If you got it, let's figure something out. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I've never been the guy like, oh, hey, give me the money now. Like,
yeah.
you know, I've been there before. I know what you're doing.
So how did your role with Stop House change once you were full time? Because I know, like you said, now you're involved in art direction with a lot of different things. Like you're just part of the team.
Yeah, I think it kind of happened just kind of naturally. Like the more trust they have in you, the more. You know, so
it wasn't a switch. It was just like a slower thing.
Yeah, it's like they ask you more questions, or like you get more emails, and you're like, "Hey, what do you think about this?" Or, you know, we got this going on. And I can put my input in, and like, go from there. So,
but you're not salaried with them.
No.
So then all that is just like basically you helping out for free because you're a part of these other things.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, okay, I got a bunch of like questions of top threes.
Okay.
Are you down to do that?
I'm with it.
I've been trying to think of like more ways to be able to like what would make good clips for socials that still fit, you know? And a lot of what I'm like doing is storytelling. Yeah. So I decided I'm going to start doing this a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. 3 favorite songs you've personally worked on.
I liked President because that was like one of my first biggest songs. There's a song with Mac Irv called Hometown. It was like his first song that really blew up, my first song on the radio, kind of thing. And then I feel like I made a song called I Had Sex in the 90s with Prof.
Cool.
And I had to I had a sample first where it was remember that song, dun, dun, ow.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. So I gave him that with the sample, and he's like, well, I can't have a sample because it's whatever. So like I had to like interpolate it myself, and like I found the keys notes, and I was really proud of like how I made it sound similar, the same vibe, but not the same, so we can put it out. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So those are my top 3.
What about music videos? Because I've seen you in a lot of Prof music videos. What are your favorite 3 music videos you've been in?
Cutthroat. That was fun.
That was the best one, dude.
That was fun.
In the liquor store and everything. That was incredible.
That was really fun, and like it was right after the pandemic, and like we were just like we're free again, you know what I'm saying, after everything is going on, and that was a good one. Second one would probably be Animal Patrol, because we were with the homies. We were in like a cabin up north and just getting lit. And
this is the one on the boat, right?
No, that's the one with on the snowmobiles.
Oh, sure.
And like I got a concussion that day, but that's okay. On
the snowmobile?
Yeah, I jumped off of it trying to be like James Bond, and like I rolled off, and that was bad. I probably shouldn't have went to sleep that night, but we're still here, so we're good. That was a good one. I'm trying to think of another good one. We did one in LA. Dynamite was fun when everyone was naked. You know what I'm saying? Like that was cool. We've done a lot of really light work. That was a fun one. We've done so many videos together.
That's the Trailer Park Boys one, right?
No, that was the one that I think with the boat.
Yeah, okay.
And we were like, that was a day where we had no idea what we were gonna do. We're just like,
Time Bomb's the one I was thinking.
Time Bomb is with Trailer Park Boys. Yeah. Squad Goals was fun, being Mr. Rogers and the, you know what I'm saying? We've done Pack a Lunch was fun with Redman. That was a dope set. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, yeah.
And he was cool as shit. Like, Redman is so chill. I'm expecting him to have like 6 people with him. He just flew by himself in town. We're like, bro, it's gonna be like 12 hours for the shoot. Like, are you okay with that? Like, yeah. I'm like, okay, he's cool as hell. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and I heard that the feature was supposed to not be as long as it was. No. He was just like into it.
Bro, he's like kept going, and like he sent Prof like a video, like, bro, look at this. This is crazy. I'm like, bro, Redman is really calling you right now, like sending you videos about this verse. It's crazy. Like every so often I hit P up, I'm like, bro, like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
yeah,
we got some like features on this next project that are like even next level, and it's like,
dude, I mean, even just like today, you said you're gonna go hang out with Andrew Santino,
Yeah.
like with a Whiskey Ginger podcast guy, and I mean, he's in
Bad
a bunch of
Friends,
things,
movies, and all that. Shit.
yeah,
like,
and Dave and that like show,
Yeah.
dude, and then you guys were on the No Jumper and like in Ryan Sickler all in one little
bro,
go.
it was crazy.
Like those are all massive shows.
We're like, I'm like, bro, these guys are cool. Like, we're just kicking with these
I
guys.
get why Mike said that Prof didn't have time for an interview with me. And then I saw him on those shows and I was like, I get it, dude. I totally get it. I got to step my game up. Okay.
Well, Wonka has time. Okay.
Yeah. Wonka responded to my DM. Okay. Who are 3 Minnesota artists people are sleeping on?
Mac Irv, first of all. Low-key, I like this kid a lot. His name is Cumo. Younger dude. He's working hard. Work Cumo a lot. And then, Tay Supreme. 3 dudes. Like, those are guys. Tay Supreme, Mac Irv, Cumo.
Top 3 rappers from Minnesota ever.
Ooh. Okay. Ever? So I'm gonna go Mac Irv. That's my guy. Really good. Prof and rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, everyone else is going to say Slug, right?
I know everyone's gonna say it, but look, I never really was.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah, I was more like commercial music. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to like Minnesota, this is bad. Also, bro, Cash Nova's really good too.
Yeah, dude.
Cash Nova's really good.
Cash was the first person I interviewed that I was a fan of.
Yeah, bro, Cash Nova's really good.
Dude, and he's just like so down.
Cool.
I was like, this was during the pandemic. I was driving to Seattle and I just sent him a DM because I was like, who knows? And this was like so early on.
Yep.
He was like the 12th interview. I don't remember, but it was really early on,
Yep.
right? And I DM'd him just saying like, hey man, been a fan for like a long time. It'd be cool to do an interview. And I remember waking up the next morning, I was having coffee and seeing that I had a DM from him.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I'm down. Here's my phone number.
Yeah, bro.
It's like, what?
Cash is that dude.
I need to
He's
do a
really
follow-up
good, too.
interview with him now that
Yes.
the show is like a real thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, you've made your steps. Yeah. So Mac, Prof, and Cash, bro. Like those are my top 3
Who are the top 3 music hip hop producers currently?
of all time. Oh, right
Currently,
now.
anyone that's putting out stuff right now.
So there's a guy. His name is Cardiac. So he works with heat makers. You know what I'm saying? Like Hitmaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, but he's like such a good producer. He's been one of my like guys that I've emulated and like followed.
What are some of the songs he's done?
So when he first did it himself, he was doing like a lot of like Philly stuff with like Meek Mill. So like I'm trying to think of the names of the songs now. Tell me at the bath, a house party.
Yeah.
He did that stuff, and now he's doing way more like R&B stuff with Hitmaker. So he's been like more like working with that, but he is so good. Ever since I first heard him, I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Second one, Heat Makers. All right, so like the Dipset type of music, like crazy. I met him one time at a beat showcase, and he liked a couple of my beats, and that was crazy. And then I'm gonna go Timbaland.
Dude, sick. I interviewed Bubba Sparks for like an hour when he was in town.
Bubba Sparks, bro.
Dude.
Ugly.
What a nice dude, too. I mean, I think he was a little messed up when we did it, but he was just like so down,
Yeah.
dude. And we did like a collab post on Instagram
That's lit.
afterward. And
Yeah.
like, dude.
Bubba Sparks, I remember when he first came out, like that was like, I don't see you, but you see me. Like all that stuff was cool.
Dude,
like,
yeah, he's the man. Okay,
Yeah.
3 rappers that you think should collaborate on a song with Prof that haven't.
That has happened?
That have not.
Oh, have not. Okay. Anderson .Paak.
Dude, yeah. That'd be good.
That would go crazy.
Their voices would work with each other, too.
Crazy. Ludacris.
Should have got him when he was here for the Wisconsin State Fair.
Oh, I know. Ludacris. That would go crazy. And Missy Elliott.
Oh, man. She hasn't put out music in a long time, has she?
Bro, get out of retirement.
Okay. Top 3 venues to perform at ever that you've been to.
Oh, okay. This is all right. Of all time,
Yeah.
Red Rocks.
You haven't played there yet, have you?
We've opened there.
Oh.
So I've been there before, but not as a headliner. But Red Rocks is like, even as an opener, we were idiots though. Like we first got there, we just ran up the steps, and then we came down and like, because you couldn't breathe. Like
Yeah.
2 hours later, I was still like catch my breath. And Red Rocks is crazy. There is a venue in Portland. What the is the name that we just did where the floor kind of just like bounces up and down, like when people start jumping up and you could feel it shake.
Whoa.
It was crazy, insane.
And it was structurally intact. It wasn't just falling apart.
Literally, that's what it does. Is like they give
It's
it
on purpose.
Yeah, they give
Wild.
a gift.
Okay.
It's like a second level.
Sure.
What is the name? I can't remember the name of the venue. All these venues come together. That one's a great venue. And then there's in Madison, Wisconsin, the Sylvie.
I've never been there either.
Bro.
I need to go to more shows.
But
man.
we're gonna be there in April 19th. Are you gonna be in town?
Well, I mean, I live in Eau Claire, not Madison.
How far is Madison?
3 hours.
Oh, okay. So what we're gonna do is this. You're gonna be on the list. You're gonna come to the show.
Okay.
The Sylvie is a crazy good venue. It's like 2,000 cap, 2,200 cap, and it's like nice, like
Sick, dude.
top of the line sound systems. You know, I'm getting used to those now. Like we used to do like little small like clubs, and now I'm like, oh, 2,000 cap, yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've interviewed people in like all kinds of different places and noticing how drastically different some green rooms are.
Bro, that is the biggest thing that I'm looking for is the green room. I have a bathroom in there and like some space and some cool shit to like play with. Like they got like some video games in here or like.
Dude, I
foosball.
interviewed Tom from the Plain White Tees, the Hey There Delilah guy. I've interviewed him twice, and he said the same thing of like the number of times there's just no shower, and they're on day 3, and they're like, "Come on,
Bro,
man!" Like
shower, bathroom, and air, like space to be able to like put my clothes down and like
For real.
just lay down a little bit and not be in my bus. You know what I'm saying? My bunk. So that's a big thing. Green room. That's why First Ave is really cool, but the green room is so
dude, the green room
small.
in the 7th Street entry, I've had to interview people a few times in, and I'm like, this is kind of whack. This is my favorite. Okay, top 3 lyricists as far as rappers go, because clearly you listen to a lot of like party music,
Yes.
and that the lyrics usually aren't fantastic in those.
Lyricists? Okay, I'm gonna go with Jay-Z, because I grew up in his music. When I first started making beats, I would literally take like Kanye beats that he made for Jay-Z, and I would just reverse engineer them. So I would find the sample, and then I listen to the beat and try to like emulate how he did it, so I can learn the thought process between how to make beats.
There's not much better than the Blueprint era.
Bro,
like
what?
that era of music with both of them is just like
Ace
unbeatable.
to the Izzo, the way that he sampled that motherfucking song is literally a 2-second clip, and he turned that into Ace to the Izzo. Dude,
my kids love that song.
Really?
Like, yeah, that's like a morning jam of ours. I'm not kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, so Jay-Z, lyricist, boom. You know, I'm trying to think like who I really, really, really enjoy. When this comes to lyrics, and like Jadakiss. Jadakiss as a lyricist is like crazy. And then I'm trying to think who else I really, really like, really f- with. It's all like from the 2000 era. I'm trying to think. I like Mos Def. I like a lot of Mos Def songs too. I'm very eclectic when I talk to
Yeah, it's
music.
very different than the other ones.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like Mos Def, Jadakiss, Jay-Z, like that era when they were like really like talking about stuff. I with that.
I feel like A$AP Rock belongs in the conversation.
Yeah, I see. Again, I was never like that type of music was
rap,
not
yeah.
really on my radar until I started working with P and like meeting these guys and like, okay, I'm listening to your music, but like I didn't grow up on that. I grew up on Jay-Z. I grew up on Nas. I grew up on Jadakiss. I grew up on 50. I grew up on all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I never was a underground Eminem, and I was never an underground rapper listener until I started being a producer and noticing that I need to work with underground rappers and I need to listen to their music. So,
do you listen to a lot of music outside of hip hop these days or no?
Yeah, I do. I do listen to like, I don't know. I listen to like country. I listen to like
Really?
Yeah, Shabuzi is my dog.
Dude, I feel like there's weirdly like a country hip hop like movement.
That
at
was
the
like
moment.
now it's getting very blurred when it comes to that. But like I listen to like rock, a lot of rock. I listen to everything because like it gives me inspiration for either it's a sample or like a drum loop or whatever it is. Everything I feel like is inspiration. So I've never been like, oh, I can't listen to this music. Like I listen to scream metal. Like every now and then I'm driving, I'm gonna put some crazy on and you know what I'm saying? Like
I think sometimes when there is like different things introduced, it definitely like adds a new flavor to it. In the same way like people use samples where you're like, I wasn't expecting to hear that. It wasn't just 808s. It wasn't just like a beat that someone was playing with. Okay, so Prof is known to be one of the better like performers live, and I've noticed that in general, like a lot of performers are not good anymore. And like acts that have been around for a long time, I think they're just getting lazy. Not all of them, but like I've seen some big people that I was like very underwhelmed by. So who's an artist that you saw live and you were impressed, like pleasantly surprised by, and who's an artist that you were really underwhelmed by?
The funny thing is I don't go to all shows because I'm really very critical on shows. Well, when I go there, I'm watching like the tour manager and I see like the signals and I'm looking at like the sound and like I'm watching everything other than the show because I know how the show goes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm looking at cues. I'm looking at like lights. I'm looking at the background.
But you guys have played festivals and stuff over the years, right? So you must have played with a lot of people.
We have, and like I'm trying to think who was somebody I was like, oh, this is a good show. Ja Rule, bro. I swear to God, Ja Rule was performing. I was doing a festival, like I think it was like the Zombie Pub Crawl. I was out here, and I'm watching him perform. I'm like, bro. First of all, he's going crazy. Secondly, everything he's performing is a hit. Like, bro, this is a hit. 25 hits in a row is nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that everyone knows and everyone's singing. I'm like, bro. And he was, there's no backing track. There was, you know what I'm saying? You hear him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was really impressed by Ja Rule. Ja, you killed that show. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Just as a listener, I'm a team no backing track.
Bro.
I hate that I can't tell if it's the person's voice or not. That drives me nuts.
And I feel like nowadays it's becoming a lost art.
It's normalized to do that, and I hate that.
Yes, we're very anti-backing track.
Yeah.
In your hook, chorus, whatever, you got some like melodies, whatever, that's great. You have some ad-libs in there, great. But like, I want to hear you. I want to see you. I came here I could have went.
Right.
I could have been like this on my headphones.
You don't care to listen to somebody lip sync. So who is one that underwhelmed you? That you saw you were like, man, I was really hoping for more out of this.
So I went to a Rush show and I don't know if it was the sound or what. I was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like the biggest Rush fan, but I know some of his songs, but like the show wasn't very impactful to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? My girl liked his music, so I'm like, okay, we'll go. But I was just like, all right.
And you're not saying that just because you guys got in some kind of a spat or whatever a long time ago?
No. After, you know what? Yeah, we did almost get in a fight. So that at Soundset.
But that's not the reason.
That's not the reason. I was there with an open mind. I like his music. After that, I'm like, I like his music. I listened to a lot of the songs, but watching the show, like, it was cool, but it wasn't like life changing. But
sure,
I'm happy we didn't get in that fight in 2018.
Yeah, dude. I think one of the better performers I've ever seen, and I guess I name drop them all the time, but Sunreal is like really good live.
Yeah,
you know.
I haven't seen him live. I feel like was supposed to, or I didn't go to the show, or like something happened.
Dude,
but
that's I know that his direction of music has gone a different direction than what Prof's is, but that would be like a cool collab between the two of them if it ever made sense.
I feel like they're in contact.
I feel like they should be in contact. Yeah. Same way with maybe Baby Jake if he ever like made hip hop music again. Okay. One more story before we go to the break.
Yeah.
What is your favorite music video that you've been on, but tell me the story of making that one?
Okay. Favorite, I would say Squad Goals.
Okay.
Because I was also post-pandemic. It was a big production, and it was like a production that we did in Minnesota. They built a set that looks like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and all that stuff, and it was just a fun time. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole set was fun. We got all these kids. I'm throwing out candy to kids and like all this stuff. They got a dance. We got dancers. All the homies are there. It was really intricate, and it was also very fun. and it also felt like, you know what I'm saying, like we made it out of like the dungeon, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It felt like a celebration almost because it was after the pandemic and all that stuff. So
whose idea was it to have the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood theme?
Yeah,
he's the main idea
bro,
behind a lot of
he
those.
was like, I'm gonna be Mr. Rogers. I'm like, sure. Like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, well, we're gonna build a set, all this.
Dude, yeah. How much money goes into most of those music videos individually?
lot.
What's a budget?
I don't know, 'cause I'm the budget man, but I know it's a lot.
Yeah, because not many people do that anymore. He's one of the few that stands out that does that.
Yeah, actually putting money behind, like, it's not just us behind a car, in front of a car, or like or whatever, a bunch of homies there. But like, yeah, we actually put thought into our music videos, and I feel like that's kind of his brand now. Is like, if it's a video, it's gonna be more than just.
He's a very visual person. I don't think I feel like he doesn't have that big of a fan base that hasn't watched his stuff.
Exactly.
You know, that is just exclusively heard him on Spotify. Most of them have seen
whether
something.
it's a reel, whether it's
the
a
drop
live,
down mics things, like all kinds of stuff.
All that stuff, you've seen me.
Yeah, he's a genius. Yeah. Okay, you should put some playlists on Spotify of your stuff. You know, because when I asked you, you didn't like have a whole lot to send me. I'm like, that's a mistake, man. Put that shit out there.
You're smart. No, so this year is I want to be more intentional in doing that type of thing, like whether it's putting my mixes out there, putting, you know what I'm saying, music out together, or playlists or whatever it may be. So yeah, I would do that.
Well, you got to build your own brand too,
exactly.
right? Like you're obviously part of a team of something, but you guys aren't touring all the time, and that's not yours, right? You want to build up something for yourself. What else do you do? Do you do like DJ residencies or anything, or is it just a lot of random one-off things?
Yeah, so it's easy. It was easier before we got more busy touring. I was like a resident in a lot of places in Minneapolis. Yeah. But when I'm gone for a month, it's tough to come back. They would just have whoever, you know.
Right. They made promises to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't have a lot of residencies, but I work with a team, Generation Now, where I do like Timberwolves games or weddings here and there or corporate events. So I do a lot of that.
Timberwolves have more than one DJ then, right?
Yeah, so it's a team, but it all depends on what section you're at. So like whether I'm like the pregame warm-up DJ, there's like an in-arena DJ, and then they have the Lexus Club DJ. So it's 3 DJs at a time. But shout out to Matt Mardigan, put me on Generation Now. But yeah, we've been working together for quite some time now, and that's been really cool. And so it's been my first summer with them, so it'll probably get a lot more busy with them in between tours and stuff. But they know, like, you know, I give them my dates and they book me.
Do you use most of their equipment for that stuff, or how did that work? Because obviously Prof had equipment because you just hopped in and did the thing.
Yeah, no,
but then did
so
you buy all your own?
I bought my own equipment. So like, eventually you just kind of grow. Right. As like a DJ or whatever you're doing and take it more seriously. So I got a couple rigs. I got a DDJ SX2, but what I use on tour is the Rev 7. Bought that. I just bought that like probably 7 months ago. So
sure.
I'm always upgrading equipment, but yeah, now it's my you know what I'm saying. So it's cool.
When was the last time something just like malfunctioned, or in general you made a mistake that you had to try to fix? Like I told you before,
I don't make mistakes.
I had a angle, which was really funny because I was talking to the UW-Madison class right after I did that interview, and I was like, yeah, mistakes happen all the time to people, even like really successful people who have been doing it forever. Small mistakes anyways tend to happen often, and people, it's not that big of a deal. You know, the first few times you dread telling the person that you worked with, and then you finally tell them and they're like, well, it's happened to me so many times, just whatever. You know what I mean? So like I had things that were slightly out of focus. So then I had my videographer neighbor come over and teach me some more things, so I understood my cameras more in depth. So hopefully this one's crystal clear. What was the last time that you had a mistake?
So it's crazy because we started doing at our sets, we have these we had our last tour we did, the gallery tour, we put basically TV screens and made them like works of art basically, and so I would have to, on my computer, have all the audio, video, everything's on my computer, right? And I couldn't understand how to get this video wall to work with all these TVs. And it was like, it took me so many, probably like 4 or 5 shows to figure out, to like know what's really going on, because I'm not an audio video guy. I have no idea what's going on. I was just basically just trying to figure it out on myself. So that was the last time I was like really kind of like, what the like it would work one show, then like sound check the next show, it's not working. I don't know why. Like I'm trying to take me hours, and now I'm not even prepared for the show because all I'm thinking about in my mind is is the video going to work? You know what I'm saying? So this last tour is probably the last time I was like, I always make mistakes. It's little things here and there, but that was the biggest time where it's like, man, I have no idea like why it's not working. I'm trying to like learn on YouTube, learn on Reddit, figure out why this. But then I realized what it was. It's like the resolution was always different.
Sure.
So I had to make sure that this extra screen was not 4K because that makes my computer work super crazy. You know what I'm saying? Make it 1080p or whatever it may be, and then that would like lessen the RAM that was used, so like, everything would work. So
well, and at this point, you've been working with that team for long enough that I'm sure you're not that embarrassed when something's not working, because it's just like, well, I mean, they have stuff not working either.
Yeah, we're all working together on it, and we're all just like, okay, let's just figure it out. Like,
was there a time where you made a mistake where you were like, you weren't ready to tell the person, where you built it up to be something in your mind?
I don't think. No, I'm pretty upfront.
Sure.
I'm like, oh man, I f***ed that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, we're pretty upfront with each other. Like, I would never be afraid to like tell anybody I'm working with, like, I made a mistake, because it's just not who I am. You know what I'm saying? If I f*** up, I'm like, hey, listen, I'm gonna get that cue next time, or like, oh, yep, I missed that, or whatever it may be. Because after every show that we do, we're all like, everyone's all excited and shit, and we sit down and we're like, all right, so what can we do better? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right, so boom. When I say this, you can do this. Or like, oh, when I do this, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I liked when you said this. We should do that next show. You know what I'm saying? Like little things like that. So,
what was the last thing that you learned how to do?
Learn how to do video.
Sure.
Learning how to like use video with our shows and our sets.
But you're on stage. You're not doing the video. Who's doing the video?
Funny? So we made these videos, so it's all on my computer. So I use So when I'm doing my normal DJ sets, I use Serato. When I'm like mixing and shit. When on Prof sets, we use Ableton. So everything's time coded. So my lights are on there. All the lights that we have are time coded into the Ableton. The video that we have is all time coded into Ableton. So everything's together. So when I push play, and it's all on my computer. There's no, like, literally, if anything goes wrong, it's not like, oh, it was this guy. No, it's literally on me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, yeah, so that's why I had to learn to, like, I'm adding more things into my repertoire that way.
Yeah.
So, like, we have a light guy, but it's more for house lights. All stage lights are on my computer.
Yeah, how many people go on tour, generally
Probably
speaking?
Like 8. So it's me, P, Janine, our tour manager, Haven, our merch coordinator. We got Tor, our sound man. We got Red, who does lights. We got Reed, who does all camera stuff and like photos, videos, all that stuff. And then we have our Shannon, who is our assistant tour manager. That's 8, and then our driver is 9.
And you guys have a big tour bus.
Yeah, we started to get a tour bus now. Yeah.
So you get to a point where like the team is established enough that clearly like Prof can sell out shows kind of all over the country. But I still feel like there's kind of a missed opportunity if you're not still doing some festivals and if you're not ever opening for bigger acts, because there are bigger people, obviously.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, is he ever going to do that or not?
So we're doing, I think hopefully these next couple years is more like doing more like festivals. Like we're doing a Cali Vibes Fest. We're doing some other festivals that we just got booked for. I can't talk about yet, but, and I think his next step would be opening for somebody bigger. Before Mac Miller died, we were in the running to open up for Mac Miller on his next tour, which would have been crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that's our next step. Opening sets are way easier too, because we don't have to. It's like not an hour and a half. We got 30 minutes, and that's like smooth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and you're not setting up as nearly as much stuff either, right? Because if you did an opening set, realistically, it would probably be 4 or whatever instead of 8 people.
Exactly. We wouldn't have need as many people. So I don't know. Like I feel like that's why our next step is finding somebody who's bigger than us that we can really cross. Like we did some shows with Yellow Wolf, and they were huge shows in these cities that we never had these biggest shows before, so like we could see the value in having somebody either bigger or just as big with us, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I think there is a ton of value there. So how does the features and stuff work these days? Because I know, like, obviously there's a rate. We were talking about in general, like how you value yourself, and I guess I look at it this way: if someone contacts me, then it's my court, and I can say yes, I can say no, I can say a dollar amount, and they can say yes or no. But you're approaching me. you know, so it's a little bit different. That's why it's funny to approach somebody else and say, hey, you should pay me.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, if I wanted you, I would have contacted you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like, especially with P, like we normally are reaching out to people. He doesn't do a lot of features. He doesn't do a lot of like people reaching out to him. He's just kind of very, I don't know, he's like closed in like that.
Sure. But he did stuff with Ren. He did stuff with Redman. He's done stuff with other people.
Yeah, see, he does collaborate a lot, but it's mostly like it has to be make sense. It's got to be somebody he really likes, and like he's not just taking $80. Like I think a lot of times too with rappers, it gets to the point where people are just doing any feature just to get a couple $1,000. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is, and then that kind of lowers your value. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
you got to be more protective of the art that you are putting out.
Protect your brand. You know what I'm saying? But so normally it's just him reaching out or Mike reaching out or having our tour, our booking agent who knows the same booking agent or knows their lawyer or whoever it is, and then boom, they reach out and then they get a hold of people.
Is there like a significant amount of money that's exchanged, or is it more so like, hey, let's just collaborate on this and actually work together?
Yeah, I think it all depends on the situation. If it's like if it makes sense. So I think P just got a verse from somebody, and we're gonna do his festival. You know what I'm saying? So like it was like a swap.
An exchange.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, when it makes sense like that, it's very easy to do because it's like we're on the same level, or I'm bringing a value. I bring this many people to your festival, which equals this many dollars, which you can just give me a verse, which would be the same value.
So how did the Redman thing come about? And tell me a little bit more of the story behind that, because that Pack a Lunch song, for one, is dope. But like, I was surprised when I saw that song was coming out. I was like, that's a crazy feature to have. And then like not long after having the music video like come out too, I was like, you guys got him to come out for that? Yeah, that's
crazy.
Nuts.
I think Mike or Adam reached out because Adam Stroll, one of our other managers, he owns a company that does like a lot of booking in like Colorado. So he's booked Redman and Method Man together, like Red Rocks, and like booked him at Cervantes all over Denver and stuff. So I think he had an end to it, and then P literally just sent him the song, and he's like, I f with this, and literally sent the video back of his verse, and then he was like, well, you want to do the video? And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. And he was like, okay, so how many people with you? Oh, by myself. Okay, so we'll just fly you out then. You know what I'm saying? Like Redman is like so easy and so chill. And then we did like one of his, he did like his own little festival that we did for him. You know what I'm saying? Just because we with him. So having that connection is really cool. You know what I'm saying? Because like, he's one of my favorite rappers. So.
Yeah, well, and that's one of those reasons that you should just reach out to people.
Exactly.
You know, because you don't know. Some people are like so down and don't have anything going on at that moment. Yeah, it's just, you never know. And some people are also just suck. And then at least you know about that thing.
Now you know, like, okay, well, this is not the guy I'm going to kick it with. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why people definitely need to reach out. And I think, honestly, just reaching out yourself a lot of times, like directly.
Yes.
Like I've had to talk through venues to people and stuff before. And I feel like it really muddies up the relationship.
It's like, what's that game? Telephone? Like when you like, this person, the same story, but by the time it gets to you, the story is so different. You know?
Well, and then when I sit down with them, it's like, oh, you're not ready yet? Cool. Let me know when you're ready. You know what I mean? And then like there's no
personal interaction.
Yeah. We don't feel like equals then when I'm sitting down and I'm like, I kind of hate that, man.
Exactly.
Like there's been some people that I'm like, I get it. I'm not your equal. But that's a bummer that you're like treating it this way.
Yeah.
You know, because I've interviewed big people.
Like bro, it's just humans. We're just humans.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the time people are cool. So you guys are going on a new tour coming up, right? That kicks off, you said April?
April 19th. Yeah.
So what's new to expect with this tour besides bigger and better again? But like what's new?
We got a lot of new songs.
Yeah. Is he working on like a new album project?
Yeah, the album should be dropping sometime this year, which is going to be crazy.
Okay.
We got a lot of bigger. It's getting, we literally expanded. It's getting bigger, and it's really exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know it's coming up, and I'm like, it's gonna be nuts. It's like, it'd be nuts. So this is a bigger show, video walls. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a 6-pack. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be crazy.
Are you going to go crowd surfing yourself on one of these times? Have you ever gone out on this?
I've done it. I've crowd surfed sometimes. The last time I crowd surfed, I was in Minneapolis, and it was at the Fillmore. And I didn't know how far from stage to barrier was. It felt like it was closer than what it was until once I like jumped, and I'm like, oh my God, I need a girl in the face.
Oh no!
Yeah, I felt so bad. She was just like, but they caught me. You know what I'm saying? I made it. But it was was iffy. It was very iffy.
So let's talk about the biggest show of the tour, right? Is going to be Red Rocks.
Yes.
I got to assume, is that the last show then of the whole thing?
Show, yep.
Man, what are you looking forward to the most about that? Because last time you said you were an opener, so you didn't get to like set up a whole lot of it. You just like walked up, did your thing. This time you have a little bit of creative control of the whole atmosphere, the whole night.
I'm excited to be there and like, as it's going to be nighttime and it's going to be like, this like 8,000 people are for us. You know what I'm saying? Like this
in the desert.
What the like we've done shows that were so small together. Like I remember one time we did a show in San Luis Obispo. It's like a small town in California. I will never forget this show. There was 15 people there by the end of the night. This is us. This is the headliners. You know what I'm saying? Y'all came to see us, and like we just bought 15. Like I think we bought 30 shots at the bar, and it's like passed them out to everybody. Took shots with everybody. Just had a good time. But we always put, no matter how many people are there, we put our all into the show. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna come back wherever we go. We're gonna make sure you come back again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see like all that work almost like culminate into that moment.
Yeah.
Where it's like this it is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like when I do my opening DJ set and there's people who there who know me, and that's just is unfeasible. I can't fathom that. You know what I'm saying? It's nuts. I feel so almost like privileged and like I feel so thankful that I was able to get to this point. You know what I'm saying? Because I know a ton of DJs. I know a lot of DJs. They've never did that. They've never, you know what I'm saying? They're way better than me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, so like I know that I've been blessed and I'm very thankful. So I'm really excited to see like just that and being like, everybody's flying in, all the homies are flying in, everyone's gonna be backstage. It's gonna be like a big moment and shit. So I'm excited for that.
Are you guys gonna be sober for the set?
So we have on tour we have like a schedule. We have like a drinking schedule. Okay. So like we keep it very very good. Like I don't normally drink until like my DJ set that day, which is like an hour before like what doors open. Like I got an hour DJ set or whatever. So I have a couple beers or whatever, and then we don't drink until, because I don't drink until right before Prof set. We do like a shot. We do our pre-workout first, and then we do a shot of Jameson. We do a shot of Jameson afterwards, and then I go set everything up, come back, and probably do another shot, and then we're good. Man. But then I normally like to have a beer or two on stage with me, and then afterwards, that's when the drinking starts.
I'm surprised you guys can still drink like that. Well, not saying that you drink as much as you used to or whatever, but like
calm down for sure. But
it's still a lot, man.
You know what? We're blessed.
Yeah, dude. Your body just gets used to it.
We get used to it. Like, and we also I don't drink a lot when I'm home. Like when we're home, we don't. It's like it's not a part.
Different mode.
It's different mode. Like when I'm on tour, it's like I have a very like a scheduled life. Like this time I wake up at this time, I work out, then I do this, and then I do that, and then I take a nap, then I wake up, do meet and greets, then I do that set up for doors, and I do my DJ set, then I come back, take another nap, then you know what I'm saying? Like it's very regimented. And when I'm at home, I just like I have my daughter a lot, so I don't really be drinking around her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
Yeah. How's the meet and greets feel to you? Simply because like obviously with Prof, if you are a good performer, those people are coming back and back and back and back. Like the Red Rocks thing, I thought about like, man, that'd be sick to fly out for that. I can't realistically do it, but there will be people flying from all over the country, right? That probably saw you 2-3 other times over the years. Yeah. So they actually do know who you are going to the meet and greet. But still, you being the DJ, most people are there to do the meet and greet to meet Prof, not to meet you. Do you ever feel kind of goofy of like people waiting in line? And you're like, do you even know who I am? Or are you just grabbing a photo cuz?
Yeah, no, it's funny because like every now and then you get people who are like, yeah, like I literally like I'm like right here, and then they're just like everyone's just full. Like, looking this way, and I'm just like, but it's fine. Like I know I'm very comfortable who I am. Like if you don't know who I am, that's cool. Like you're here for this dude. Like this is the headliner. You know what I'm saying? Right. But like I've been in a lot of videos and a lot of content, so I feel like a lot of people do know who I am. And if they don't, then whatever.
Sure.
Cool.
Well, and I mean, Prof is just a very, very, very recognizable person. Like he stands out anywhere. So I would assume he doesn't go out a whole lot here. Do you run into that issue at all in Minneapolis of like people just know you everywhere?
I'm starting to get in more now. It's just pretty nuts. Like I was shopping at the mall and this dude ran up on me like I was like a Dick's Sporting Goods, found like a sweatshirt or something, and like he ran up on me when I was leaving. I'm like, oh, it's like, hey man, I love you. I'm going to fly to Red Rocks and all this. I'm like, oh, that's what's up, man. Can I take a picture with you? My roommate would never believe me. I'm like, yeah. So he took a picture, and like I started walking away, and I looked at him. He's like, yeah. I'm like, what the is going on, bro? No way you're that excited to meet me, bro. Like I'm nothing. You know what I'm saying,
dude? But no, I mean, but it's funny, right? The pedestal you put certain people on, right? Like I interviewed Lamorne Morris a long time ago, who plays Winston in New Girl, and he's like a celebrity.
Bro, he's cool, funny as.
Yeah, and he's so nice, but I didn't really know who he was at the time. When I interviewed him, was just I had a mutual friend who was like, hey, he would do it. So I went over to his house the following day. I had never seen New Girl or anything.
What?
Yeah, never. Seriously.
Funny
and I told him that. Yeah, and he was just super, super cool. I think he still follows me on the gram, even though that was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Nicest dude ever, but to me, it was just like, wow, you're just like a guy because I don't know anything about you. But
somebody else who watches New Girl, who was a big fan.
My neighbor's cat's named after Winston.
Bro, isn't that crazy? It's all perspective,
but then I meet people that I like look up to, like a pro skateboarder or something that I'm like giddy, and I'm like, I know they're not really famous, but to me, like this person,
I know, I watched X Games this many times.
Yeah.
I seen you do this. I saw you do this.
Well, even like first time meeting Cash was just like I had put him on a pedestal because he was the first person I was a fan of, and he's not like famous, but it's
like
all
about your perspective, right? Like who this person is.
Exactly. I was like, dude, your verses were so sick, man. Like
you're so good, bro.
Yeah, dude. Like you got this. Okay,
bro, you're the man.
So I ask this question at the end of every episode, and if you need time to think about it, it's totally cool. You can. Okay. When you do something that you're passionate about for a living, you get to have really unique experiences that are very meaningful to you. Mm-hmm. They're not financially driven, but they are what make all the hard work worth it. Can you think of a story of an experience like that for you?
I think literally just being able to go on tour, you know what I'm saying? And see the world and get paid for it and not get paid enough, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is like very gratifying to me because a lot of times people just assume that all you do is push a button and party. I'm like, no, like I put a lot of work into rehearsal. We put a lot of work into like making a set. We put a lot of work into content. We put a lot of work into building a brand and like being who you are, that being able to first be on a bus, you know what I'm saying? Wake up on a bus and everyone else is waking up to like load in and I can sleep a little longer. I can go get some food. I can like be the talent in that moment is like very crazy to me because 12 years ago, I would have never thought I'd be in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I go on stage and people are like, Wonka, you know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't even I had no idea that could even be a possibility, you know what I'm saying? So being able to do that is like very, from a passion, from something that I've learned to love and like build myself and like just do and like, I wasn't trained to do this. I just learned on my own, you know what I'm saying? Like to be able to do that is like crazy and like it's very gratifying to be recognized and also looked at. I feel like I was thinking about this before the podcast, like what do I do this for? Like, and I learned that I like to make people happy, right? One thing I love to do is look out and see smiling faces or see people dancing, or I play a song and everyone goes at the same time, oh you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we on the vibe together, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's something that I will never take for granted, being able to do this, be able to do what I do, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So. Well, and you're very humble, but the truth of the matter is if you weren't really good and valuable, they would find somebody else.
I can be replaced.
It'd be so easy for them to find somebody to go and do the bare minimum anyways and go on tour. They keep you around for a reason. And
one thing I'm trying to instill on my daughter is create your own value. You know what I'm saying? You create your value. And if you are doing that on a consistent basis, they won't be able to let you go. No, you know what I'm saying? You are the driver of your I have a company called Pilot Life. You fly your own plane at that point. You know what I'm saying? You're the pilot because you create your own value. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I think I remember when I walked away from my last real job, which was in like 2013, working for Verizon. I remember my parents saying, like, you're going to walk away from something this consistent and blah, blah, blah. Dude, less than a year later, my buddy got fired for no reason. And it was because he had just gotten promoted from being the best salesperson to like an assistant manager, but company wide, they decided to like cut down from 4 assistants to 3 assistants at A volume stores, right? So even though he was just promoted, his position got eliminated and he was just gone. Working for yourself, I kind of feel like that's the most job security because nobody can fire you, man.
I'm going to fire myself. I'm going to keep going. I'm not stopping.
Well, and you can supplement your income by doing different things. Like you can't be let go, right? Even if you miss this opportunity, dude, I'll tell you what, if for whatever reason you don't go on this Prof thing, with your experience, everyone you know, your network, you bring so much value. There are a lot of artists that would be like, dude, I would love to have you plug in and take the spot. You know what I mean? And it's because you built that.
Yes, that's very, and thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's like you have to do that. You being your own boss and being like your own person and building off of a passion is so gratifying, dog. Like, I watched my dad work for Marriott for 35 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he's living an okay life, but is that what I want for myself? Like, just every day, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, you know what I'm saying? To 5, 7 o'clock, 7. That's not what I need in my life. I need to have purpose. And I feel like this is filling my purpose. So,
dude, that's inspiring stuff, man. Let me give you a couple of gifts before we head out of here.
Okay.
Do you like coffee?
No.
Oh, bummer.
But I'll drink. But my girl does, so.
Okay, cool. So there's 2 different ones, and you can pick whichever one you want to give her. So I have decaf, which is this 3 Bears, which is pretty wild because it's milk chocolate crisp apple and effervescent. It's pretty fancy. So there's this one, which is actually a Minneapolis thing. Okay. And minimum wage Tim's is regular, so you can pick whichever one you want. That's also a Minneapolis brand.
I'm gonna go with
regular.
Yep.
Killer. So that's for you. And then also these from Drink Wisconsin Blee.
Okay.
Little vodka cocktails. They also make vodka, brandy, all kinds of different things.
Let's drink one right now.
All right, dude. I can send it. Crayon apple. I've actually never had these.
Hey, Chris, crush this right now, dude.
Yeah, dude. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Ah, yeah, bro.
Cheers.
Hey, cheers.
Dude.
All right, ready?
This is rad, yeah.
Yep. Bro, that was good as hell. A little faster than this guy.
That was actually really good. That was the first time I've ever had one of these.
That's really quality. This is a quality vodka cocktail.
Oof. Dude, now I need to just like hang out for a while.
Yeah, just more water. But yeah, that's good.
That was incredible. I was not expecting that. You put me on the spot. I'm gonna be burping on my drive home. These headphones are for you from Koss.
Oh,
so you got some extra ones. They come in a nice little bag to carry around with you on tour. Koss is from Milwaukee, so shout out to them.
I had no idea I was getting gifts today.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's all the gifts.
Okay.
I'll give you some stickers after this. Again, dude, thank you so much. This was really rad. Hopefully all the footage turned out, considering we're crammed in this little dark room.
Yeah,
I think it turned out cool.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Passion Pod. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We'll see you soon.